Pornhub employees want porn to steer young people's sexual
I
identity.
saw that trending. I didn't actually watch the video. So it's just like a kind of Project Veritas type thing.
Exactly like that, yeah. Employees of Pornhub's parent company were caught on camera touting the benefits of underage kids watching pornography and even suggesting that making videos of transgender identifying people engaging in sex could help young people figure out their sexuality, according to a new video released exclusively on The Michael Knowles Show on Wednesday. Employee Dylan Rice, a senior script writer at the company.
Script writer?
Is seen,
They still do that?
I don't know. They're seen arguing that pornography usage could be beneficial for preteens. Let's say you're 12 years old, you're still figuring out your sexuality, maybe even your gender. Wouldn't it be helpful to see a celebration, but maybe just a normalization of something that you think is what you want, Rice is seen saying. Rice went on to specifically reference a pornography site centered around transgender individuals, remarking, let's say I was 12 and I saw trans angels. It would help me figure out what I do like and what I don't like.
I mean, I guess I'm not sure. Like, I haven't gone through every category on the porn websites, but I imagine there's quite something for everybody there.
Do you know what the second most popular type of porn in India is?
No.
Breastfeeding.
Ugh.
Breastfeeding porn. Dude, it's so strange. So this is from Seth Steven Davidowitz's book, Everybody Lies. And his argument was basically, you tell Google things that you don't even tell yourself or your journal or your partner, because it's what do you want, not what do you think about like writing and reflecting on.
Yeah.
And he looked at Pornhub data, and it's just breastfeeding porn isn't big anyway. It's not even big in like surrounding countries. Whatever the fuck's around India, it's not big. Indian men specifically, just seem to fucking love breastfeeding porn.
Weird.
Yeah.
And is there any theory as to why?
He gave me like because cows are sacred.
Oh, wow. This is like deep.
Yeah.
It's
like some fucking religious.
Deep symbolism here.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I've been thinking this more and more about the some of the expose shit that we see online. There was a screen grab of maybe a Tinder conversation or a dating conversation that went mega hyper viral of a guy saying that he wanted a traditional wife, and the woman saying that's really great because that's what I want too. And then he accused her of being a gold digger because she said that she would stay at home. And it's like early days dating or whatever. But it just, like, reading it seemed so not the way that people text. There was unnecessary exposition about the fact that they went for dinner last night, and I knew that I shouldn't have done that. And she was like, what do you mean? I paid for the bill at dinner last night. Yeah. And it was like,
you think it's fake?
This just feels a little bit clunky.
Yeah.
That seemed like a fucking false flag. But the same thing with like some of the fucking secret camera shit, and also the same for on-street interviews. Like the on-street interviews, the ones that make these compilations, like what didn't make it? Like how many people said, I'm just really looking for someone that kind of respects me and loves golden retrievers. And
that's not going viral.
No.
Yeah, so, it's always the worst stuff, and you don't know. Like that, like it could be legitimately. We talked to 1,000 people. 2 of them said the worst shit you've ever heard of, and that's the only one that's interesting, I guess.
It's this weird combination of, is it legit? So is what you're seeing contrived, made up, like that set of screenshots that I think was, and okay, let's say that that's not. Was this an unfair representation of what most people saw? And then what does what they said actually mean? Is what they're saying what they meant to say? Yeah. And is that actually how they're going to show up in their life?
How it's edited, like, oh, man.
Dude, like, every time I think about it, I know it's like flogging a dead horse about like, oh, it's so hard to work out what the facts are, and people can't even agree on what the word truth means anymore.
Oh, we can't agree on anything anymore. Like,
it's wild.
It's insane. Every argument now is just everybody talking past each other. Everybody almost seems like when they're arguing, there seems like there might be some resolution. Like everybody feels like someone will be like, they say the point, everybody goes, all right, yeah, okay, we've sorted it out, but it's not. Everybody is just, you're on your side, and that's it. That's everybody's, just picks a side, and then they're staying on that side. It's very rare, I think, right now where people's minds are changed.
When was the last time, I keep thinking about this on Twitter, no one ever actually breaks the fourth wall on Twitter and says, hey, that was out of order, like you can't say that. It's always this like clap back satirical game of tennis where you're trying to be wittier or more cutting than what the last person said, and it's all like sardonic, passive aggressive, like quote fucking subtweeting what the last person said.
Yeah,
it's never someone like just going like, hey, That's out of order. You
Right.
don't get to say that. No one actually fucking treats it like an actual conversation.
No. I mean, you know what? The closest I've seen to some, which was like, brought me so much joy. I thought it was the funniest thing to some sort of argument that resolved was in, I posted this video about, because since it's been going on for a while, it used to be like really, dark web kind of, stuff like white supremacist stuff, but these charts of how Jews that are representation of Jews and things like I don't know if you've seen it, they'll be all like, it'll say like all the Jews in politics or the media or whatever, and these giant charts. Remember Kanye? He held up that, he had his thing about the spreadsheet. Yeah. So then once the war started, all these anti-Israel people were like, look at all these Jews that are, and so then I made this sketch. And it was the guy that researches how many Jews are in things. And I'm like this very just like autistic, just like, I just like knowing how many Jews there are in things. And I just make these lists or whatever of Jews there are in things. And it went like really viral. And then in the comments was this guy and is like he goes, what's so funny? Like, because essentially a guy is like, who had his list. And then he goes, my list is, here's, and he had a drive link of a public list that he made, and then he started getting in an argument with another guy who's like, I have a list and my list is actually better, it's more thorough. And then they were like in the comments going back and forth with each other about whose list of Jews,
dick measuring competition, but it was circumcised dick measuring.
Yeah, but they were just like, whose has a more accurate list of Jews that are represented in things. And then they were arguing, and then the one guy goes, you know what, I looked at yours and yours is actually better than mine, and then they kind of like became friends.
Oh my god!
And I was like, oh my!
You watched a burgeoning bromance
kind of over, in my comments. I screenshotted it all because I thought it was the funniest thing, and they essentially started off as enemies.